The bush has been machined down 2.5 mil, so it sits in flush and the nuts actually come up to that face. Just going to put in a washer so it's not steel on aluminium for the tightening. So we'll put that on. I need to put the rod in first. Have to put the stops in. Make sure the wide section's pointing out and that the heads are facing up so you can screw it in. So that's one limit switch, that's the other limit switch. That pushes against the spring, fits in there. Another spring, another stop. You squeeze them tighter together, more pressure to overcome any resistance, and you shift them this way and that way to get the 0 point set for the micro switch. So it's adjusted there, adjust the pressure, then that resets back to 0 when there's no pressure on it. Then you set your stops to touch, and then that slides so much, click. So you then can adjust that. To get accurate settings, you can click it, then you can put a piece of shim or a piece of tool steel. If you want a 100 mil or 10 thou or half a thou, you just put a shim there, move this till it clicks, then you've got your adjustment. What I also like to do, so I like to set the stops so when they stop there's a measurable difference. So say from this face to this face might be 20 millimeter, 20.000. So I can machine up a block and test it. Then when I've got the stop set for home, comes back, put the block in, 20. 6 months time, 12 months time, I can check it to see if anything's moved. That way when I fit fixtures to the table and I use those zeros position, I know, right, it's set. So we'll just get the old Allen key out first. Put the rod in first, just a little drop of oil. I've black oxide everything, but it does rust. Even with black oxide it does rust. But this is the movement here. Make sure all the stops are up the right way. There it is. Stop up, stop up. Now I'll put the other end in. 2 pins to locate. Again, with a drop of oil. Doesn't move much, but you do want it to fit. You could push the rod all the way through, but then too much hassle. Things get jammed, pins don't line up. The shaft in. There we are. So that's all the amount that sticks out that end. That's in the 0 position. Put in the cap screws. Nip them up. Tape the pins into position so the shaft still moves. So it's still all lined up. I haven't used Loctite. Can always remove a screw later and Loctite it. Once you finish the assembly you know it's correct. Put on the other spring. Put on the other collar. Make sure that the little flap lines up. There it goes. So now to lining the pin up 0 position. Moving one collar forward. Move one forward tight, then we'll spring back. Then and now I'll just move the other collar down to its correct position and make adjustments on the easier one first. You may want to move the spring half tension, and when you feel it's pushing back under its own tension, you can nip it up. That's going back fine. Then it's just a matter of putting the other collar on. Locking one of these collars as a stop. That stops the spring from going in. And then you just push this one in. The same distance. Use 2 springs the same. And you make that. I'll make any final adjustments on the machine when it's set up. But you can measure here from that face to there 35 mil. That's going to hit that. That's another 20. 20, 35 is 55. So if we make this one 60, we'll make it 70 from the end. We know we won't ram anything once we switch on the machine for the first time. Measure this end. We've got the spring, 1 collar, 2 collars. So this face may touch that face, but it'll crush these. So we have to measure this. That's 10. That's 25. So we now can loosen this one. And we'll make that one 40 at the moment. So making them a known distance, when you set the machine, it may be 3 mil out. So you know that's 40, and you know it's 47. Okay. Push, back to 0. Push, back to 0. You then set them up with a multimeter, and when it switches you'll see the multimeter move. That's how I like to set it, in the mid-range. So there it is.